Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Mining Market Signal. My name is Seth, and you are watching this on Mind Your Biz. Sponsor for this episode is, of course, us, mindyour.biz. If you ever check out our website, we've got merch. We've got a few cool items there, such as privacy respecting phones, privacy respecters. They are not going to help you hide from like the CIA. If that's what you're trying to do, you would need a very different set of skills. These are pretty much just going to get Google and Apple out of your life and have them stop aggregating your data and scanning your phone for stuff and telling them which Wi-Fi networks you're joining and, other stuff that they do to kind of like mess with you. So that's what they do. All that and more available over at Mind.biz. Let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, shall we? Current score is 49. So we're back into neutral territory. Yesterday, we were solidly in fear. I'm kind of confused by this because yesterday also we saw Solana basically poop its pants. There's no polite way of saying it. Solana needed a diaper change yesterday. It got really ugly really fast. And we'll talk about that in just a second here. So I'm confused as to why we have this score of 49 for the Fear and Greed Index when there's such incredibly bad news over in Solana land. However, maybe that's owing to the fact that the Bitcoin maximalist crew or Bitcoin maximalist camp is feeling really confident after they saw something like that happen, right? They tend to kind of dance on the graves of their competitors. Guys, this is a live show, so your comments are visible by me. I don't just sort for their so-called top chat, and you do not need to send a super chat my way in order for me to read your comments. This is a very interactive show if you're here for the first time, and I definitely appreciate you clicking all the buttons because it helps bring more people in, and it lets YouTube know that this is content that you find useful, helpful, valuable, and that other people might feel the same way about too. So thank you for sharing this as we go. We got Gallo saying first. Next, Eric Gamer saying, woo, hope you are all doing well. Thank you, sir. Gordon Murray's in the house saying Solana is centralized. Hey, you gave away the punchline. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. Not only is it centralized, there's more to it than that. The Fear and Greed Index is 49, though, guys. And as you can see, that's a bit of a trend reversal, at least for the sentiment. The sentiment. We were kind of moving towards neutrality, and then we dipped into fear. Now we're back in neutrality. I suspect that after the Solana news, we're going to dip back into fear again. But what do I know? Nothing goes exactly the way I say here. I'm not a technical analyst, and this is not legal, financial, or business advice. I mean, unless you really want to take it that way. But, I mean, why would you? Right? Of course, right. It's not legal advice or investing advice in any way. In fact, when we take a look at the charts, I'm just going to straight up say it. The charts never quite seem to follow the simple patterns that I talk about. We're not using any kind of Fibonacci levels or anything else. We're just doing very simple lines, right? We're taking a look at like really ascending and descending triangle patterns for the most part, and then a couple of trend lines that are very, very simple. So do take anything that we talk about by way of price discussion with a grain of salt. That's really not the primary purpose for this show. I'm not here to tell you what the price of Bitcoin is going to be on December 15th at 4:31 p.m. in New Zealand, right? Like get out of here with that. That's the joke. And people who say that they do know, I have my doubts. Voltron's in the house saying, sup, Seth? Limitless Combo is here saying Fear and Greed Index is not fearful because there's tiny glimmer of hope for Chia now. You had to go there, didn't you? Oh, that's okay. I mean, I would. If I were in the audience, I would. Can't blame you. All right, so guys, that's our Fear and Greed Index. Let's take a look at some of the news. And as you know, Solana was hacked. Somebody said, Gordon said Solana is centralized, but we'll talk about that. There are relatively centralized validators, just fewer than 1,000 validators, I believe, at the time of this video. I think that's still the current numbers, 900 some odd validators, even for something like Ethereum 2.0, which I don't believe is actually going to solve the scaling problems, nor is it going to solve the fee problems, the gas fee problems that Ethereum suffers from. It already has, just on the beacon chain, it's got hundreds of thousands. It's got over 200,000 validators already right now on Ethereum. You compare that to Solana, And Solana is scaling maybe a little bit too fast for its validator network. And we saw some of those growing pains right now. It's a bit like when you see a teenager who's involved getting ready for collegiate sports, or a collegiate athlete who suffers a massive injury because they're taking some kind of like steroids that cause their muscles to grow faster and stronger than their tendon and bone strength. So they go and like get some crazy injury that looks like insane because some part of them is like mismatched, right? Their body. And I think we're seeing that with the validator network on Solana. Yes, I actually compared Solana to a collegiate athlete, suffering a bilateral pec tendon tear, because these things happen in real life. I've seen them. You've seen them. You know, they really happen. And Solana has had those kinds of serious growth and scaling problems already. So let's take a look at this article by Decrypt. Pretty great write-up by Andrew Hayward, talking about how it was down for hours due to resource exhaustion. Resource exhaustion? But what about all the fancy talk of really fast transactional throughput? How many thousands of transactions per second are you supposed to be able to do? Resource exhaustion? Really? What does that mean? Well, it means you don't have enough validators. That's exactly what it means. At least not for the amount going through. They talk about oh my gosh, what is this? What is this emoji that Chump Change has given us? Is it a monkey with a hammer? I thought it was a monkey with a pistola. It looked pretty cool actually for a second. And I got really distracted by it. Guys, I'm very distractible tonight. So be mindful of your comments. And remember, 1 thumbs up equals 1 prayer. So Solana basically ran into resource exhaustion. They said resource exhaustion in the network is causing a denial of service. Engineers are working towards a resolution. It's like, wait, engineers? It's a decentralized network, right? Isn't it supposed to be a decentralized network? Gosh. Nemesis is in the house saying, yo! You don't have to shout, Nemesis, right? We can hear you, okay? Obviously, it's science. Literally, right now, we can hear... Whatever, I'm not going to explain. So, resource exhaustion hitting the network, and says validators are preparing for a potential restart if necessary. That's probably a little bit more honest, right? I got John Germain saying hello as well. Thank you, John. Appreciate you saying that. He goes, hey! Awesome comments, guys. Keep them coming. Bring in some friends, too. Let's have some fun tonight. But right now with Solana, and I know, we don't want to be like too mean-spirited, because Solana has done really, really well, right? The performance has been really good. The total value locked on the network has been really exciting, and it's from an investment standpoint, people who are taking a look at it or who bought in at like whatever $2, they're extremely happy with their Solana holdings. So again, you guys know, for the purposes of the show, I don't like making fun of people, making innocent mistakes, right, or honest mistakes with their investing in this space. It's a very tricky thing. This is an unregulated space, and for the large part of what people do in this space, there's a lot of luck involved. Even when you think there are strong fundamentals in a project, there can be a lot of luck. Flux, for example, Flux Network, they're killing it right now. But man, there were some lean times too, right, and some struggles in the past. And Ethereum Classic, Fox Protocol Mining is killing it with solo mining on Ethereum Classic. It didn't stop them from getting 51% attacked multiple times. So bad stuff happens. That's all I'm saying. Occasionally in blockchain land. So I don't want to pick on them too much here. But validators preparing for a potential restart if necessary. And then the CEO of Solana Labs chimed in and said, it's beta time. Though I kind of wonder, in the context of like a bunch of nerdy programmers in blockchain, what does that really mean when you tweet to the entire audience, it's beta time? Come, follow me, beta testers or betas. I don't really know what he's saying there, but you see how I could be confused, right, by what he's saying. It was just funny. Anyway, it's beta time, and implored them to join Solana's official Discord server. Like, okay, we need to call on the big guns. Follow me to Discord. Who does this? People in blockchain. So they're in a reply as well. But really, a lot of this was, as far as the PR, was handled by the CEO himself on Twitter and Discord. So I guess kudos for that. Like, immediate emergency response, but I'm a little bit confused by it. Maybe you are too. Maybe you can clarify, but I don't think you're this guy. Whatever. If you want to carry water or chop wood for Solana, go ahead in the comments. If you don't, whatever. So, yeah, it says on Twitter that the whole thing is due to an overwhelming transaction volume from bots during an IDO. And that was the big issue. People trying to get in and front run an IDO. We see this on Ethereum now. Guys, that's what made the whole DeFi Summer 1.0. That's what made DeFi Summer such an incredible time for us and brought us back into profits as miners, right? As GPU miners, was the fact that people were attempting to use flash bots to front run these kinds of IDOs, trades, DEXs, and AMMs and get themselves more profit. And as the margin, like as the amounts that they were working with went higher, they didn't care about the fees going up as well. And then we benefited from it. Right. So same thing is happening here, but the only incentive here is between validators who are being staked by a bunch of stakeholders and then people who are trying to front run the trades. But you make it too cost prohibitive to run a validator node. And then all of a sudden, if you only have whatever, you're slumming it with only $100,000 worth of collateral, which isn't enough to run, right, your own validator node, or we'll just say those are the numbers. If you're slumming it with only $100,000, you got to stake that to another validator node, and then it gets spread really, really thin. Let's see. Cryptid Youth is in the house as well. So is Golden Wolf, guys. Appreciate that. Golden Wolf says, I must be blind. I see it now. Thanks. Referring to a link over on the Chump Change channel, guys. We are in the presence of celebrities. We've got Chump Change XD, who apparently add a link over on their channel. I apologize. I don't know what it's for. Sorry. But there's a little comment going there. Cryptid Youth is in the house saying beta with $40 million market cap. And BPK says, hey, Seth, evening, buddy, from here in the UK. As always, love the show. Appreciate that. Appreciate it very much. Some Goblin Losers in the house as well saying, hey, yo, smash that like button. Man, I see no lies there. But, guys, I mean, you should do what some Goblin Loser I don't know says. It's the law. And I don't disobey the law. You should do what he says. So scrolling down, guys, IDO launch was what created this run. And when you have too much automation paired with really high transaction throughput, and you sort of create this perfect storm, right? The perfect environment that if you are too thinly provisioned as far as the number of nodes that help handle all that traffic, well, this was going to happen sooner than later because the cost to run a validator node was just a little bit too high. So people who were like, okay, it'd be like with mining, right? Where you're like, oh, well, I wish I could go mine with that GPU, but it costs $3,000. So I'm going to have to go mine with this $1,000 GPU instead, which again, sounds crazy to us now. Or like, I'm going to have to go get these $250 GPUs. And I'm going to string together a few of those, and then I'll work my way up to the hash rate, or I'll work on coins that make sense for me. Like you get it. There can be hard limits to what we can invest in some of these pursuits, right? In contributing to blockchain infrastructure. And with Solana, just spread too thin. It just spread too thin because it costs us too dang high to get it involved in a validator node. So everybody else says, well, I don't have enough collateral for a validator node, or I can't totally run one myself. Guys, I'm going to be right back. This is like actually serious. Really, literally give me 15 seconds. I think my basement's flooding. I'm dead serious. I'll be right back. Disaster averted. That was a serious. Oh my gosh. Okay. A little bit worried there. Anyway, guys, that got really, really real there for a second. Anyhow, yeah. Hey, bud, would you check on the run now immediately? I think actually, my wife's been doing irrigation in the yard. So yeah, we're having to, some of the grass got kind of thin. We had a statewide order to decrease our water usage. So part of the lawn went dead. My wife just dethatched some of the old dead grass. We reseeded, right? So we overseeded just now. And now we're doing this sort of like, the drill, right? When you got to fix some of those bald patches in the lawn. Thankfully, use the water now. Anyway, sorry for the false alarm. But yeah, Gallo, gotta make an NFT of that scared face. I mean, seems rare. I guess. If you wouldn't mind. I mean, sure, make one. Maybe send me one. That'd be cool if you did. So yeah, guys, I mean, get this though. The IDO that broke Solana, the thing that broke Solana, Grape protocol. Grape. Like, think about it, guys. It's like how CryptoKitties took Ethereum down to a crawl a while back, or like how all these, like, whatever, the Bored Ape Yacht Club and all this other stuff, like these silly projects, were always this far away from completely destroying blockchains over collectibles that are completely ridiculous, like completely silly. And Solana, you know, it happened. It was like, okay, great protocol. Thank goodness it wasn't something like whatever, like sex toy themed or something like really dirty, right? Because then how could the mainstream media have talked about it? The professional decentralized finance application layer, Solana, has been taken to its knees by the reads notes Pink Dildo Project. Like, dude, how could you say that with a straight? How did I just say that with a straight face? Like, how could you say that with a straight face on mainstream media, right? Like, we do crazy things in this space, but it was a great protocol on Radium. So, decentralized exchange called Radium. And yeah, kind of crazy. But yeah, Gallo, I have to show your comment here. But yes, right? Or like Australian, Australian Safe Shepherd, right? And the others. It's crazy. The stuff that we're putting into the blockchain space. It's just hilarious. And then it totally destroys it. But apparently it was about 300,000 TPS. That's nuts. Cryptid Youth says rated F. Bro, I know, right? Story of my life. Rated MYB, which is rated F. So yeah, it's crazy. 300,000 transactions per second. First off, bravo. They did it. They proved that it would work for a time, but then you can't sustain that. And when it's fully automated by bots, and when you enable that by saying, all right, we need all these IDOs on all these other decentralized exchanges, this is the whole point, we want this, like really, this is actually what we're after, then of course, it's only a matter of time, if you have too thinly provisioned a number of validator nodes, that it's just gonna break, right? You're literally begging for it. So yeah, but a user replied, somebody was able to tweet at the CEO of Solana and said, like, hey, maybe don't allow first come, first serve IDO launches in the first place. And he just shot right back, nah, just need to fix the bugs, part of life. Nah, man, you can't fix the bugs here, right? Like, there's no replacement for displacement, so to speak. To use the automotive term, there's no replacement for displacement. You have a certain number of transactions going through the network, and you need to have more validators to help them go through. Simple as, right? Like, this ain't rocket science. It's really not. So anyway, but this is the announcement, right? Like, this is the last thing you see before you die. Yeah, your name is Solana, and this is the last thing you see before you die. Good grief. Anyway, so a bunch of people have struggled with their transactions. They stopped going through, transferring NFTs, transferring balances, using their web wallets, which, by the way, I probably need to do a tutorial on that. I've come to find a favorite for myself. People are crazy in the Solana space, right? Saying like, oh, you got to use this wallet. Hey, does it have hardware wallet support? Could I use like a Ledger on it? Because I read that Ledger has support, right? And Trezor have support for Solana. No. Why would you need hardware wallet support? People have they've lost their darn minds when it comes to Solana. And this is just one of those little pieces of evidence where it's like, bro, slow down, do a little more homework. I got excited, a little euphoric, right? I didn't take my own advice, got a little euphoric talking about it and saying like, whoa, number go up. That's crazy. And I have a little position in it, mostly because I wanted to use Solana to create some NFTs and work with NFTs. Daniel Keller from the Flex Project is in the comments section, and he says validator nodes on Flux. Just saying. He's not wrong, man. That's the thing. It's like decentralization on top of decentralization. But here's the thing. I think some of the performance challenges that are required for Solana is half of the problem, right? You got these really high hardware requirements, and then you got these really high collateral requirements, which is pricing out more participation, which is why they have, like, I think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, fewer than half the number of validator nodes as Flux has enhanced service nodes, like it has service nodes right now, or Oxen, right? Or any number of other projects that have service nodes. Like, they don't even have as many validator nodes as you guys do for the Flex network right now. And they're trying to like grind 300,000 transactions per second through that network. That's just a bad day, man. It's just a headache in the making. So anyway, crazy. That's crazy to me. So they bill it as being more scalable than Ethereum, but it's broken before. Apparently, December 2020, the validators had to restart the network to resume block creation before. So, you know, it's that whole IT crowd thing. Have you tried turning it off and on again? They have. Apparently, they have in the past, and they will do so again. But I have deeper concerns, and this is over on Reddit. You can see this. This is, first off, shout out to Bitcoin for Beginners. I know they just rebranded, but Kevin from Bitcoin for Beginners, maybe we'll cut this little snippet out, or I'll just send it to you. Great job covering this. This originally came from a Reddit post on the Satoshi Street. So Satoshi Street Bets subreddit. And they had this little preview here. I can't find this layout in Messari, but I know that the data comes from Messari, which is a great information aggregator. But this is the initial token allocation for public blockchains. Let's blow this up a little bit and make it a little bit more legible for you, the folks at home. But this shows you the public sale, the community allocations, insiders, which would include the team, company, and then VC purchase tokens. But especially, let's pay attention to that last part. VC purchase tokens. You guys have heard me talk about this disparagingly. There are problems, and some regulatory clarity is coming out talking about how the SEC might start looking at any project that has a massive VC-backed allocation as a security. That would put projects like Chia in trouble, right? Unfortunately, put them maybe on the chopping block if the SEC has their way. That said, you didn't hear it from me, and I'm not going to say these words, but I heard somebody say recently that Gary Gensler and the SEC have basically lost their damn minds. They're basically insane. So who knows? Maybe their regulatory clarity is bogus. I don't know. So public sale, though, this is kind of what we're after, right? This is what we consider a fair launch, especially when it comes to proof of work mining. This is pretty much all we're used to for the most part, unless something has been held back for a dev fee or something, a dev fund. And then those community allocations, right? So airdrops or anything that would specifically go to the community. And I think this could maybe also be considered part of a fair launch when it comes to a proof of stake project, where we're used to like lining up our GPUs, or, hey, John Jermaine just threw a super chat into play, and man, I really appreciate that. So John Jermaine, you're tonight's MVP. Let me throw you an air horn. Heck yeah, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, yeah. So when we're used to firing up GPUs like the Zano, I remember mining Zano day one. It was so cool to be like, all right, I got to configure the miner, and I've got to make sure that I've got, the right flight sheet all set up over in iOS, and got to make sure that I have all my updates so that the drivers are correct for this GPU. And then we mine, right, for a time. And we know, and we see on a mining pool, if there's a mining pool set up, roughly how much we're contributing, and we have some idea of the block reward that we're going to get. We saw this with Raven if you were early to the party in 2018. We saw this with Flux, right? And we saw this with Flux when Flux shifted mining algorithms to Zell hash after the ASICs came out. And we all tried to do the math, or race to put in the work so that we would merit something in return. And Anonymous Miner here as well. Thank you, Anonymous Miner, for saying hello in the chat. Good to see you. But we're used to that, right? We're used to that being a fair launch. And on these charts here, on this data from Messari, we see sure, yeah, maybe there's an airdrop as well, but Solana, these insiders, the team, the company, and the VC purchases, it's almost half of the coin supply. Bruh, half the coin supply going to VCs? Do you really want to have Y Combinator or A16Z hold enough of your coin they can dump on you? Because sure, maybe they're going to hold. Maybe they have whatever, steel hands, but maybe they don't. Maybe they're actually just looking for a quick exit after year one, or after their third quarter in. If they see enough of a return on their investment, maybe they're looking to get out, or maybe they do just average out. Fine, whatever. But I don't think that it's going to work out the way any of us thinks is, would view as fair. right? So stepping away from that, I know, it's a dirty word. It's literally a 4-letter word that starts with an F, fair. But very few of us, I think, would consider that honest, right? Or a very cool, or, giving equality of opportunity, I should say. Not equality of outcome, right? What most people consider fair, but equality of opportunity. We didn't have the same opportunity that VCs did, right? 50% of it just went straight to them without us even being given a shot at it. So that's what I consider fair, is equality of opportunity. And it's just not there, right? Binance, obviously huge. Polkadot, 33% pre-allocated. Cardano, 17%, which is not too far off of Ethereum's 15, plus the 5 that went to the foundation. And then it's alleged that 70% initially went to the Ethereum group, right? To the insiders initially, but even still, 15% is huge. But all the rest, right? Celo, Flow, Near, Internet Computer, which is a bit of a joke. You guys want to hear my ringtone? Okay, yeah, we're not picking that up. Sorry. But Internet Computer, guys, 39%, almost 40%. Near Protocol, 40%. Flow, almost 60%. Tezos, not really that bad. But EOS, right? 10% there. And you would expect that, like, with only 10% going to insiders, more would have happened, because the public sale would have resulted in maybe more, or maybe they needed to have better community allocations so that actually the $4 billion they raised actually went to something. Tron, similar story. Avalanche, right? AVAX, it's on our list and it's performing very well. But this has got me thinking differently about it as well. Something that kind of bugs me is that I wasn't able to reproduce this layout that you see there over on Messari, because I don't have a Messari account subscription right now. I'd like to get one, because this data, you guys know, I love doing spreadsheets. I love being able to get representations of data in a way that we can talk about, and especially that affects us as miners. But on that note, I want to see this for Polygon. Don't you? And I couldn't find that. Not on the regular Messari account. So I'm probably going to have to dig into that a little bit deeper, see if I can find the initial token allocation for Polygon, and try to get an update, since they talked about moving to a DAO. Right, so a decentralized autonomous organization. Oh, hey, I just see a comment from Kevin Hawthorne all the way from Lakeland, Florida, saying, good evening. Good to see you, Kevin. Thanks for being here, man. So guys, with Messari and that data on Polygon, I really want to be able to compare that and do apples to apples, right? Because we can get our payouts natively, our wrapped Ethereum payouts natively on Polygon. Most of these other projects, we would have to use like unminable coins, right? The unminable website to be able to immediately trade for these. So it is something where we can be involved as GPU miners. It's just not a one-to-one, So yeah. Gallo saying, what is this ICP? Yeah, it's just not something I'm excited about. So guys, validator question aside, and seeing the transactional throughput of 300,000 transactions per second really bring Solana to a test of its capacity, right? We tested its metal. We saw that it could maybe do it for a short time, and then it gave up, gave the ghost. It just basically started like malfunctioning and flipping out and twitching and acting crazy. But that was not my concern. This was my concern. You look at these pie charts, and I mean, it's literally third, only to Binance and then Flow blockchain. It is the third most insider traded smart contract platform based on this breakdown from Messari. There could be more, of course, that are maybe relevant and that we may want to get some more data to evaluate, right, side by side. But as far as insiders getting it, right, the team, the company, and VCs, especially VCs that already have billions of dollars under management and that are already prepared to, like, they're always prepared to dump on you. They're always prepared to steal from you. They're always prepared to front run you in every possible way. They've been doing it for decades. They've been doing it for years, certainly in the tech space. Solana is basically already bought and paid for by them. I don't know how I feel about that, but I know it's not good. So yeah, I know that my feeling is not good. So I'm going to leave that out of the way. If you just came here to hear me kind of rant about Solana, guys, that was it. We're going to go into our regularly scheduled content, talking about GPU mining, talking about proof of work mining, such as the cost of mining one full Bitcoin. And we tend to go into a few other segments that are pretty regularly programmed at this point. So if you're bored by that sort of thing, I don't know, I guess maybe stick around to the end where maybe we'll do some kind of a giveaway. Been meaning to do that for a while. Got to do that. Guys, I'm going to be on BitBoy's channel for Around the Blockchain again soon. Going to be on the Compass Mining podcast, video podcast, right alongside Bitsby Trippin'. Apparently, we're doing a joint episode over there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that on Friday. And I'm going to be on Crypto Wendy O's channel again soon. So I got to figure out some kind of giveaways, right? So that when we do those events, like we come back here and we can kind of like, hey, we're doing a giveaway. Look, it's an NFT of whatever. Seth's scary face, like afraid face from when he thought he was flooding his basement because he left his kids alone for like literally 3 minutes only. Questioning all my life choices now. Here we are on TX Street, guys. TX Street tells us exactly what the current state of fees is on both Ethereum and Bitcoin. We can also check it out on Monero as well. Looks like the mempool has really, oh my gosh, mempool has completely gone out of control. It's just crazy, guys. The comment section as well is pretty much crazy. Y'all out of control. Just have to say, y'all cray. All right, so we got over 11,000 transactions waiting to go through over on Bitcoin. That is a phenomenal sign of usage. Guys, last time we tuned in, it was under 400 transactions in the mempool on Bitcoin. And frankly, I was a little bit concerned, right? It was like, hey, you know, Bitcoin, should we call somebody to come pick you up? You need an Uber or something? Like, you doing all right? You gonna be okay? Somebody put something funny in your cup? Like, didn't look too good, right? So, just saying. Seeing them come all the way back up into the thousands without having the fee go way too high, that's exciting. Right now, the median fee in terms of sats per VByte is 9.75 on Bitcoin, and that translates to about 87 cents for each transaction. Not the best if you wanted to use CoinJoin or some kind of privacy-oriented wallet that does mixing for you, but not terrible, right? Not terrible. Which reminds me, though, by the way, I got a little gripe. Daniel Keller, if you're still in the audience right now, I got a little gripe. I was trying to send some Bitcoin out of my Zelcore wallet the other day, and the default values for standard, rather for slow, standard, and fast transaction speeds, they were not communicating to whatever full node they needed to get the best possible fees on Bitcoin transfers. It was a little bit inflated, and by a little bit, I mean like a lot. I had to manually edit the sats per VByte that I was willing to pay. But to your credit, guys, on Zelcore, I was able to edit the specific fee that I wanted to pay. So I didn't pay the inflated rate. The thing is, it wouldn't have even gone to like the Zelcore team. It wouldn't have even gone to like the Flux team. It just would have gone to the network, right? It would have gone to miners. It would have vastly overpaid though on that Bitcoin transaction. So just a little bit of feedback there. I don't know what happened there recently, and it's been, I want to say, about 10 days since that happened. So hopefully that's already fixed, but just saying. Over on Ethereum right now, guys, our median gas price is 86 Gwei. Don't be fooled by these over here. That's not the median, but 86 Gwei, and mempool count is always over 75,000 transactions in the backlog for the mempool. Median ETH transfer fee, we're under $7, which, I mean, geez. Clown Town, what the heck? How is it that we're happy to see only $6.58 to transfer our own ETH between our wallets? Here we are. And the median contract fee is just under $40, almost right at 40 even, or it's kind of fluctuating above and below $40. That's a lot of money. I'm just saying, that's a lot of money. And if you have a more complex smart contract over on say, Uniswap or SushiSwap, you're looking at minimum double that, right? Because you're actually dealing with two smart contracts, typically speaking, or possibly even more. So minting an NFT, for example, you're going to be doing nearly double this. All right, so yeah. So hey, guys, we got a response from Daniel. Hey, I appreciate you being here, man, and responding to that. I'm not trying to like take pot shots or make it sound weird. But for whatever reason, the algorithm that automatically chose the fees for low, mid, and high fee or fast transaction speed, they were off by quite a bit. But again, I manually edited those. Daniel says we allow it to be edited because the fees go insane and people send it not knowing it will be rejected by the mempool. So it's always best to check the fees. Okay? I concur. Sorry. I concur. Great. Thank you for responding to that. Appreciate it. Guys, we got, speaking of mempool backlog, I've got a backlog of comments here. I seriously need to, I want to get a screen reader just to read the comments. Some British voice so that it sounds better than me, right? Let's just be real, guys. The British male voice is, I think it's been voted GQ's sexiest voice alive, like 50 years running. We don't stand a chance. Just don't. All we can do is grow beards and try to lift weights and eat a lot of steak. Maybe. Even then, all bets are off. The UK guys got us beat. Anyway, comment section is coming in hot. Gallo says pie charts are sexy. I agree. Pie charts are, they're the best thing since sliced pie charts. Christian Belmers here says a validator holding 1 million SOL only gets a block once every few months. Dang. Okay, yeah, so it's kind of a thankless job too. I've read that because of the economics of running a Solana validator node, kind of have to over provision your collateral to make sure you can withstand the peaks and valleys of coin value and the occasional difficulty. Like, it's not very well dialed in, the economics, which is a huge problem and why we saw the problem that we did today. Gallo says, gotta win that around the blockchain episode again, right? It'll be a hat trick for me, guys. Be a hat trick. Be third episode 1. And yeah, so that's why I've got to prepare something as a giveaway, right? Because it'll be like, first off, hat trick. Secondly, 3 out of 4 appearances. Yeah. I got to represent for the GPU mining community, right? We can't let all these investor types think that they own the place, right? They'll get the wrong idea. Sends the wrong message. Got to remind them who runs blockchain. So Complex Sepsis is in the chat saying, I wonder where the pump came from. Was it institutional interest or the community coming together for a rally? Great question. Yeah, because it could come from either direction. Anonymous Miner says, John Jermaine, thanks, but I don't follow the rules, and ask them to reroll. Hey, oh, that's cool. And because somebody was doing a giveaway of a 6-pack of risers. Nice. Complex Epsis goes on and says, I haven't checked the wallets or volume after the project was in the eye of the masses and it crashes, but still sets a record for 400,000 TPS before it overloaded. So average of 300, but thank you. Did go over 400K. He put on tinfoil hat. Zotrack says, always customize your fees. I would recommend. Yeah, totally. That is a pro level tip, guys. It's true. The one issue, I think a lot of us have become gun shy on the fee, like manual editing of our fees on Ethereum within MetaMask, because it gets rejected so frequently, and then you're out the whole fee anyway. So it's a little bit frustrating to see that happen. But on Bitcoin, yeah, that's great. Yeah, totally great. Complex Epsis goes on to say, was this a way to pump the project, gain some Skrill institutional interest, and then have the public see it falter so they migrate to another platform? Ooh, yeah, like a next level pump and dump. It's absolutely possible, and there are absolutely people who have that kind, like who got it like that, right? Where it's like, hey, whatever, I run a data center. I've literally already got 200 nodes over here, or I know this person, or let's be real, 70% of the nodes are running on AWS. So make a few phone calls. It's a bit like the Jamie Dimon, right? Or as my former community moderator, Corey Round used to say, institutional interference for a guy like Jamie Dimon who runs JP Morgan Chase. It's as simple as like sending a text to somebody and saying, hey, you remember how I did that favor 5 years ago and I saved your bank by giving you a $5 billion loan? Please do this for me. Please go destroy this company and crush these people and their livelihood. Thanks. You're the best. We don't roll like this. We don't live like this, but there are people who do. So yeah, especially at this level, it's possible. Yeah, for institutional interference, maybe it's plausible what you said. Likely, probably not. It probably does boil down to incompetence. Usually, it's easier to, like the Occam's razor kind of dictates that we really do need to go to a simpler explanation. And I think like a larger collusion conspiracy theory, it's cool. I think it's possible. But I think it's probably more likely that it was just incompetence and that the fees are too high to get enough validators in. And so, yeah, to whatever level there are bad actors, they're enabled more by the incompetence of others, I think. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just some idiot with OBS and a webcam. Let's see. John says, what's worse than a stuck transaction due to a low fee submitted? Not much. In this world, not much. Mining tiny amounts of a coin to your wallet and trying to send it all in one transaction, and it fails due to the number of, combining UTXOs. That's the issue on UTXO-based systems, right? On Ethereum, we don't have that problem. It's an account-based system, and the same is true for all the other EVM-compatible systems. They don't have that problem of combining UTXOs to then send everything. But yeah, let's see. Daniel chimes back in and says, Daniel Keller says, the Sol team has some good ideas, but I agree with Seth that I'm concerned about the VC side, as we saw with ICP and the massive dump. Avalanche too. We saw it on that chart, guys. If that data can be believed from Masari, then Avalanche as well. It's way too much VC money for my liking. We see the same with Chia, and I've been very vocally disapproving of it, to the point that Bram showed up that one night and was like defensive in the comment section. Whatever. If it helps them develop, fine, develop. But don't expect the price to do phenomenal things, and don't expect people to feel motivated if you sold out to VCs first. It's just kind of how it works here in blockchain space. And free and open source software too. Right? Kind of largely, that's the ethos. Zotrack says, I get you. Editing fees on MetaMask is counterintuitive, I find also. Yeah, it is. It is. There are some networks that are better, but we have that problem of centralization. Anyway, guys, Complex Sepsis says, right on, dude. Thank you for the time you put in. Appreciate that. Christian Bulmer says, Ultra VC money. MK Ultra VC money, right? Am I right? Let's get it trending on Twitter. All right, guys, so that's the current state of fees over on these two networks. Check out Fiat Leak to see what the damage is. Right now, it looks like the leaderboard for Fiat Leak is Bitcoin, Cardano, Cosmos, Solana. Gee, I wonder which direction that's going. Bunch of people who bought the top and are selling the local bottom again. Like, oh, I got wrecked. Let me lock in my wreckedness by selling. Oof. Bitcoin Jake is in the house. Let me give Bitcoin Jake a giant air horn for asking to be modded. And then actually doing mod stuff. That's cool. Says 290 Bitcoin moved after 8.5 years. What? We had whale wallets move, or like old seasoned whale wallets move almost 300 Bitcoin. That's exciting. It's really exciting. As long as they're not the Satoshi wallets, right? Then cool. Yeah, no, Bitcoin Jake, I saw you in the comment section before, but it's cool to see you chime in as well and let us know about the Bitcoin news. I did not know about that. That's awesome. I probably need to have some better alerts set that have some blockchain hooks, right? Because we got so many block explorers, so much of this can be automated too. And should probably make some kind of a dashboard. It does just show like whale watcher stuff, whale watcher dashboards. Because that stuff is so much more helpful in understanding sentiment, right? Yeah. Nice. And Bitcoin Jake covered it on his video as well. That's cool. So guys, we got top movers, Bitcoin, Cardano, Polygon, there it is as well. That's exciting to see. I like seeing that for sure. But, guys, I've admitted it over on Twitter. I'm kind of becoming something of a Polygon. I mean, not a Polygon maxi. But for me right now, Ethereum, layer 1 is basically synonymous with Polygon. Because layer 1 is so painful to use that basically if you can accept layer 2, not even layer 2, right? I'm not calling it layer 2. But a sidechain solution like Polygon that hasn't recently broken and has really reasonable fees and is not owned by Binance, let alone 50% owned by their VCs, right? Their favorite VCs, then I prefer that personally. And Daniel, I'd love to talk to you about getting, if it's not already in the works, getting native Polygon support in Zelcore and, maybe getting Flux listed as an ERC20 that is bridged to Polygon, starting on Polygon and then back bridging to Ethereum, if, it's the way you want to go. Sam Fisher's in the house then. Hey, mind your biz. I was wondering if Coinbase is a safe place for, and then the message cuts off. You hit enter, I think too soon, but go ahead and finish that. But let me just, I'm going to let you finish. Let me just try to answer that right now. And of course, chat will chime in as well and let you know what they think about Coinbase. I'm not generally very happy with Coinbase. They tend to limit the amount of transactions that people can do. And yeah, Daniel Keller in the chat saying, you read my mind. We can go deeper though, Daniel. We'll talk offline. We can go a lot deeper than that. There's so many opportunities there right now. And yeah, my Rolodex is growing. I know yours is doing, right? Yours is too. It's just like how it goes in this space. But I think you can go way deeper than that. Be cool. But yeah, as far as the Coinbase question, a bunch of people are going to tell you what they think about Coinbase. I'm not very happy with Coinbase because even as an exchange, if you need to use them for like a brief purpose, they wind up saying like, oh, we had technical difficulties when the price rallies up and maybe people want to take profits. And when there's a reversal and the price starts to go down, then they definitely break. And they say like, oh yeah, sorry, we can't sell. We can't let you move your coins. Or my poor mom, bless her heart, my mom, I was helping her get this NFT collection set up for my dad's work. It's posthumous work, right? Because for me, I'm like, hey, it's just what any son would do, right? Like for his parents. But my dad's dead, so he can't do it. So she's looking for some Ethereum as collateral gets started to mint these NFTs. And she says, oh, I'll just buy some on Coinbase. And I'm like, Mom, don't. Really, it's not too big a deal. I can scrounge together enough Ethereum to help you with this. Like, don't do that. She does it anyway. Bless her heart. She does. She goes and buys on Coinbase. And then get her set up with hardware wallet and full security protocol. She's like, and with fallback security protocols in place to make sure that, my silver hair mom is not going to have a problem, right? Holding these cryptocurrencies and these NFTs. She's trying to get these coins off Coinbase, right? And it's not much, mind you. It's really not much. It's a couple $100 maybe. And she says, okay, cool. I'm gonna withdraw. Gets a message and says, awesome. Thank you. Your transaction is slated to release your coins in 3 days. They wouldn't let her have her own crypto. Took 3 days to get it. And I was like, oh yeah, obviously you should have just let me send you some. Like, it's as a gift, whatever, who cares? Like, just let me treat you. And we did do that after that because she was like, gosh darn it, they got me. And I'm like, yep, gosh darn it, they got you, Mom. They got you. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Coinbase. And every time I go back to take a look at them recently, they are more and more of a headache. And it's just kind of confirmed. For miners, I would certainly do not want to try to mine to a Coinbase wallet. Definitely do not do that. You've run a lot of risks there. Let's take a look at some of these coins coming in right now. Bitcoin, of course, we always take a look at here on Fiat Leak. And we're at $47,993. This sounds like used car pricing, doesn't it? It's like, why can't you just go to 48,000, bro? Just tell us it's 48,000. Why you got to say it's 993? Bitcoin. Kind of scam you trying to pull here. Anyway, we got plenty of USD pouring into Bitcoin. We got plenty of Euro also. Looks like some Thai baht I thought I saw, unless we're looking at the Indonesian rupiah. Plenty of Korean won. Apparently, as we were told last time, it's a good time to trade there. Brazilian real is also pouring in, but not at quite the same rate. Usual suspects, guys. Just exciting to see that Bitcoin adoption is taking place all around the world. This is fresh fiat going through exchanges. These are APIs that are telling us about these transactions and these trades, not on-chain data. I'm going to go to Ethereum there. And Complex Sepsis is asking, do most miners go to platforms without KYC? Well, that's a great question. I can't speak for most miners. For my part, with my platform here on YouTube, which is, it's limited in reach, limited in scope, I endorse staying away from platforms that require KYC. Or if you do need to use platforms that require KYC, limiting the number that you use. It is an operational security threat. If Coinbase's database were hacked, for example, your personal private information, and then having it be associated with your crypto holdings could be compromised. And that risk increases with each new exchange that you give your KYC to. And with that database, right, your customer profile would include not just your personal information like your name, date of birth, like very personal identifying dates and figures. It would also have a copy of your driver's license, likely, and any other documentation that you sent to them to prove your identity. So it is a huge risk from a personal data privacy perspective. And the greater number of these exchanges you give this information to, well, it's like, you know, it's like rolling another die. Like, what is the likelihood of having one of them roll a one, right? Like, you keep on adding die to the table. Like, okay, cool. Here's one. Boop. Maybe it rolls a one, like 6-sided dice. Roll one. Maybe you'll get a one. Roll two. The likelihood of you getting a one has doubled, and it's a linear increase, right? So if you roll like 15 dice, are you going to roll a one? Probably. Same is true of these KYC exchanges, right? The likelihood of something going wrong somehow, it goes up, and it's at least linear, that risk. So I'm not a big fan for that reason. And then, of course, there's the privacy aspect of just having people know enough information about you that if they feel like changing a policy, they can report something that they disagree with, not something that's illegal. That's annoying too. So for those reasons and more, from this YouTube channel, in this house, we don't use KYC exchanges. That's just true. Right? So Uncle Seth tells you, in this home, we don't do KYC if we can avoid it. Just how it is. If you don't like it, go back to your mom's house. Maybe she'll KYC for you. Cut the crust off your KYC the way you like it, right? Turn into little butterflies. But we don't do that here. So Ethereum, guys, $35.97 current price, and looking hot, right? Looking hot as can be, right? USD, very high frequency purchases being made in USD. Euro, not so much. What is this? Kazakh money? Dang. Kazakhstan has joined the chat. Oof. That's amazing. And I think that's probably because of some of the mining operations that are in Kazakhstan, probably creating some DeFi envy and in the local investor group, people wanting to get their wet their beak, right, with DeFi, getting their hands on some Ethereum to get started, some kind of collateral to get started. Thai bot is in the mix, but that's not a shock either. However, I wonder how the fees are affecting people there. Maybe if they're just paper trades or if it's just on exchange, it's not too bad. But I know that the exchange rate or the typical cost of living in Thailand, not very high, but wages and wages and professional salaries are also a bit decreased to match that. So it's good to see. Good to see people are taking it seriously there, though. So hopefully that's going to do well for the people there. Let's see. Yeah, Beard Stack says, Borat in the place getting all that crypto. Yeah, right? It's all Borat's money. There we go. He's as if on cue. There's Borat buying some more. And let's see, the euro. Yeah, usual suspects, guys. Not too much out of the ordinary here on Ethereum. Now I've got to know, is it listed under Matic? I think it is. Not under Polygon. And there's Polygon still trading at $1.40. How is it still trading at $1.40, man? I have no idea. But what I do know is that it keeps the fees really low, so I'm not complaining. Looks like USD is going into Polygon and a bit of Euro. Really just the four currencies that are being tracked. So maybe that's part of it, is it's just not listed on enough exchanges with enough fiat on-ramps to be able to help it get more global market penetration. So who knows? Whatever, guys. I don't work for Polygon. I'm not like their publicist. I did do one paid review of Polygon over a year ago before they rebranded, but yeah, I'm not like their marketing department. But you know, it does affect us as miners. So let's see. Convicted Marketer says, Convicted Marketer says, Matic has a poop load of tokens. That's why it's so low. This is mostly a family show. Convicted Marketer, mostly. Just saying. Anyway, so yeah, interesting times there. Let's take a look at whattomine.com. They've totally changed the user interface, which I think is probably just fine for what we're doing on this show. Going to work just great. And we've got a different arrangement of all the different coins that they normally show us from before. And it looks like for Team Red, they have gotten rid of the R9 380 and the R9 Fury. Gone too soon. Yeah, tears. Sadness. Nope, I lied. They're just very hidden. So start at the bottom of the stack here with the R9 380. And it could be also that because I'm using ungoogled Chromium with very, very heavy privacy settings that have broken the front end representation of it somehow. So maybe this sorts some other way on a different browser. Maybe it was designed with like with the Firefox, right? For front end rendering, and I'm just messing it up. But we got it, right? We fixed the problem. 14 cent per kilowatt hour power, averages of 7 days. Hit calculate and check it out. All right. So Ethereum Classic, guys, top of the list. Ergo right behind, over 45 cents. Pretty amazing there. Zano is also contender, but not really. 14 cents, not going to cut the mustard. Ravencoin, 14 cents as well. Flux, not quite as high in the stacked ranking, likely because of the 7-day average, but 22 cents is respectable when you consider mirrored assets. If you can get them. I don't know which pools offer them, but it is a game changer because you take that number and you triple it. Pretty cool. Anyway, we'll more on that later, or I'm sure there's somebody else in the space who's already done a video on it, and I just have not, referred to it. The R9 Fury. Let's take a look at that, guys. HBM card from back in the day, from days of yore. The old R9 Fury, using the old HBM1 memory. Haha. Sam Fisher asks, mind your biz, what's your take on using BlockFi and their credit card benefit rewards? That's a great question. It really is. It's a great question. Lest I come across as endorsing BlockFi or Nexo or Celsius or any of those, I don't know. I don't have a very strong opinion on BlockFi. I know they've had a little bit of a brush with authorities about backing and about collateralizing their loans and making sure that their investors and that their holders are properly secured and protected. But there's so much mudslinging in that space. Like BlockFi talks crap about Celsius, and Celsius talks crap about Nexo, and Nexo says we're just happy to be here, and it gets crazy. So I don't have a really strong opinion, man. But I do know that behind the scenes they are all working like crazy to try to make sure that you can get some kind of yield. So I mean, it's an exciting time. It really is. It's exciting. We've never had it better as far as that sort of thing. But I don't really know about BlockFi. Great question though. It really is. Let's see. The other question is coming in as well. Convicted Marketer is asking about running a specific type of node. We'll talk about that a little later on. Maybe we can add it to the portfolio and we just kind of see by putting it against other projects, see how the coin has performed. And then maybe we can look it up on masternodes.pro or .online. I forget which one is still operating. Maybe we can take a look at it over there. But we don't really look at masternodes very often anymore. And I think probably we should. Great question though. And let's see. R9 Fury. Again, we need to return to days of yore. R9 Fury. Ravencoin is coming in top of the list. Again, oddly specific at $1. How did you get that number, Ravencoin? Just decide. It'd be $1 a day. Still amazing. I mean, guys, these are cards you can't even find anymore. Nobody uses them. They're not, I mean, I guess some gamers might still have them in their rigs or whatever, but like, dang, $1 a day on an R9 Fury. Pinch me. This is just nuts. Zano at 92 cents. Ethereum Classic at 70. Ergo at 73. Ooh, even Beam coming in at 78 cents. Flux coming in at 51. Bro. Okay, again. And if you're on the right pool and you're able to get your parallel assets to the two other tokenized chains, that's $1.50. It's $1.50 of Flux, says Chris Rock's dad, fake TV dad, Terry Crews. All right, so that's the R9 Fury. Moving right along in Team Reddit's a little more confusing now. Let's take a look at our 570, which is going to represent our 4 gig Polaris card. And not too big a shock to see Ravencoin at the top of the list there, also at $1. Ergo at $1.07, which is pretty exciting. And Ethereum Classic at 99 cents, which is not bad. Quark Chain's on the list again, so I'm a little bit surprised to see that. But again, here is Zell, or Flux rather, farther down the list. But if you can get the parallel assets, it actually puts itself in the #1 spot. Guys, basically, I'm going to be shilling Flux. Basically, that's what's about to happen right now, is that if you can get into a pool where you get the parallel assets, you'll get the native coin, Flux, right? Ticker symbol Flux. And then you get the wrapped asset on Solana and the wrapped asset, I think on Binance Smart Chain. Don't quote me, but there are at least 2 smart coin or smart contract networks where there's a wrapped representation of Flux, and there's at least 1 pool that pays out in all 3 simultaneously. It's kind of crazy. It's a loophole that I'm sure is going to be closed at some point in the near future. It's a bit like how we did the merged mining on some of the crypto note coins years past. But don't say I never did anything for you. I think that'll be very helpful for some people making up their minds on what to mine. But that's on the 4 gig Polaris card. Taking a look at the 8 gig Polaris card, we're going to see pretty similar numbers, only we're going to see Ethereum in the top spot, likely, as before. So looking at that stacked ranking, yep, Ethereum at $1.95 in profit. This is with 14 cents per kilowatt hour power, guys. So really, we're not cheating it. Hey, Daniel Keller, for the save here. He comes in and reminds me that it is Solana and Tron and BSC. So 3 parallel assets. So it sounds like if you can get payouts on all 4, then you're quadrupling those mining profits. I'm not sure if that's possible. You can set the record straight. If you don't mind, down in the comment section, please save me from myself, Daniel. What am I doing? I'm talking too much about a project that I don't have enough information on. But yes, parallel assets. I don't know if we can get all 4 at the same time. Native plus the 3 wrapped representations, but that'd be crazy cool. So top of the list here is Ethereum. We got Ergo at 115, got Ravencoin at 96 cents. Quark Chain is there on the list again, Beam, Zano, and then Flux at 51 cents. And if it is true that we're getting quadruple the value because of the wrapped representations, then yeah, we're neck and neck with Ethereum, actually a little ahead there, even for these older cards. Moving from the Polaris card over to the Vega 56. Pay no attention to the 8 there. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. All right, so calculating for the Vega 56 entry-level HBM2 card. We're back from days of yore, now in the only semi-old school. Vega 56, which, by the way, I think I'm finally seeing some of these on eBay for like $500 to $600. Rare to find them, but it's a bit of GPU price relief, just a tiny little bit. Figured I'd share that. Probably already all bought up, the ones that I saw, but Ergo is top of the list at 346. Ethereum at 326. So Ergo is still taking the lead, but I'm still feeling more strongly about Ethereum being paid out on Matic, right, on Polygon, just because of the ecosystem there. This is my 2 cents. Ravencoin at $1.82. Ethereum Classic at $1.87. Beam is there as well at $1.50. Quark Chain, Zano, Callisto, but guys, we're not seeing nearly, not quite as much profit on Flux from before on this coin, right? So you're not even getting close to the same profitability, even with the wrapped assets being paid out in parallel. This is just a different beast, right? HBM2 really changes the game there. Moving to the top of the line for HBM2 cards, though, again, they're causing us to sort of like visually parse this differently. But our Radeon 7 be a top of the line HBM2 card. Let's calculate for our profit there. Ethereum $6.59 every day. Ergo at 5.41. So not even close. Just totally flippins it. Gets that profit back in favor of Ethereum. Ethereum Classic almost $4. Quark Chain below that. Ravencoin below 3. Beam almost below 3 as well. Zano almost $2.50. Callisto under $2. Flux almost $1.50. So we're nearing that $6 mark. Not quite. So maybe in better shape than Ergo if you're mining Flux on this coin, but definitely not as strong as Ethereum. To Bitcoin, Jake says, my 2 cents. It's my 2 sats. That's the new saying. You gotta say my 2 sats. Here's the thing. Crypto Blood has an entire show called My 2 Satoshis, and I just feel like an imposter when I say it. Is that weird? It's going to be tough for me to get off that. I might be saying like, whatever, my two thin dimes? My 2 quarters? Adjust for inflation? Hashtag, I don't know. Whatever. Hashtag. Sweet. Double Octothorpe. But guys, that's our profitability on Radeon 7. Radeon 7 is looking pretty strong there. Go to the top of the line for Team Green. So let's, no, I'm sorry. We have to do our composite of the 6800 XT and down to the 5600 XT. John Germain, Jay's 2 sats. Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not going to give Jay the satisfaction there. Get it? The sat is faction? We're all so punny. We can replace everything with sats now. Look, I'm a dad, and I do a lot of dad jokes on this show, but even I have my limits. So let's do that composite score of the newer architecture. 6800 XT and 5600 XT. But Ethereum at $7.27, Ravencoin at $4.80. This is not even close, guys. Why am I even reading anything else? Really, why? Other than maybe if we can get the parallel assets on Flux, but I think this newer architecture is not very strong with the Zelhash algorithm. Ooh, it bears mentioning though, and congratulations to the Firo team. This is inaccurate. So what to mind if you're watching? You know, it's almost the same day change, right? It's day 0 for this, but they are moving to Firo POW, which is a variant of Prague POW. So they're moving away from Merkle Tree proofs. It is confirmed. The announcement went out on Twitter, I think just today, from Ruben Firo, Ruben Yap, the steward of Firo. Should probably get his name legally changed, though. I'm just saying. That's the rules, right? When you run a crypto project, you get your name legally changed, your last name to the ticker symbol. And then if the ticker symbol isn't cool enough, you have to change it. Like that's a 2-part rule. Because if it's like who would change their name to like BCH, right? Be like, especially if you had like a first name like Yusuf, because it would look like Yuza BCH. Sound it out, right? I'm right. You know I'm right. You'd have to change it because it's like, nah, not cool enough. I'm going down like a punk. So that's our profitability on the latest architecture from Team Red. Let's go to the top of the line for Team Green, starting with and I'm actually struggling to visually parse this, 1080 Ti, 1660S, 2080 Ti, and then 3090. Yeah, they've got some things interspersed here that just do not make intuitive sense based on the way it was before. Just a little bit different. So sorry to go like 0 to boom run, you guys, but it's like, oh, they changed it. I can't find my things. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Cryptid Youth says, Ruben Firo sounds cooler, bro, right? And it's like, and I mean, he's got a cool last name, right? Like Yip Man, right? Yip. That's a cool last name. I'm just going to say that for the record. Like if I had a last name like Yip Man, right? Like the what's the heck is it? The Chun-Li. Why can I not think of the name of the martial art? The Wing Chun master, right? The Wing Chun master. Yip Man. If I had a last name like Yip, I'd be like, bro, I'm related to Yip Man. It'd be a super cool name, but I would still change it to Firo. Because it's actually cooler. So, yeah, going to the composite score of the top of the line Team Green cards. And sorry to be so wacky, guys. This is a serious show. Those of you who are still watching, this is a very serious show. Sorry. Yeah, guys, here's the thing. You call him Ip Man. You call him Ip Man. It's Yip. Look it up. Prove me wrong. But Ethereum top of the stack, $15.94. Flux at $12.36. Here's where it's going to be really hard to argue against Flux. Oh my gosh, coming in with like the ultimate flying Superman face punch, right? Like, whoa, like it's up in the air, getting ready to like lay waste to some fools. Firo not far behind it, but when you consider the parallel assets being mined, it's actually considerably far behind it. Zano at $10.61. Ivan is asking about thoughts on Ravencoin Lite. I'm not aware of Ravencoin Lite. Is it a fork of Ravencoin? Let me know. I actually need to educate myself. Or maybe we can look it up as we go over our portfolios, but I'm not familiar enough with it to convey my thoughts here. Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to try to very honestly tell you when I don't know, so that I don't come across as like, whatever, like the professional BSer. Don't get me wrong, I can do that too. We could come up with a backstory for Ravencoin Lite, but I'm actually asking this time. Now I feel like I have to. Give me 2 seconds, I'll come right back. We'll come up with an entire backstory for Ravencoin Lite and why it's the best thing ever. Yeah, Zotrack says, is it Pigeon Coin? LOL. Bro, Pigeon Coin, I got a story. but it's for private company. I won't be saying it on a live stream. Pigeon Coin is fun. Fun project from back in the day. Yeah, Raven Coin is quite low on the list. Same with Ergo. Again, knowing that there's a quadruple parallel asset payout on Flux for Team Green, that changes the game for me. Like, if I would strongly recommend taking a close look at that, because you're looking at, gosh, almost 50 bones for that same hash power daily by mining Flux when you get the parallel assets. So hard to argue with that. Very, very hard to argue with that. But that's a composite score of about 50% going to the 3090. Let's go to the bottom of the stack. Right, 1060, 1660, 2060, and then the 3060 Ti. And they finally got the low hash rate models involved here as well, since they did the UI update. See that? So the LHR models are designated with an L at the very end. See the 3080 low hash rate as well. I think those in the 3060 low hash rate model. We only got those 3 that they've listed so far. No, 4. We also got the 3070 LHR model. So kudos to What to Mine for trying to get this all set up. Yeah. Hey, Aussie Bogan Tech. Got it. He said, yep, Kaimon. Yep. That's the thing, guys. Leave it to an Aussie. They're going to know. Aussies and the Chinese are like this. United States, we LARP as people who are into like Kung Fu and especially Hong Kong cinema and Kung Fu cinema. Guys, look at all of Jackie Chan's work from the late 80s to the 90s. When he's working on screen with English-speaking actors, where are they in the world? Aussie Bogan Tech knows. I'll let you guys guess. Anyway, I'm going to calculate here. 14 cents, averages 7 days, $9 a day on Ethereum, $7.14 on Flux. It just seems like it's a bloodbath, guys. Team Green, basically, if you got Team Green cards, I think my takeaway here is that you need to be looking very seriously at Flux. And I was not paying close attention. I was sleeping a little bit too hard there. So maybe we come back with a little bit of dedicated media talking about how to do that, how to actually do that. Because I've got a Team Red rig and I've got a Team Green rig. So I'm looking at just provisioning that Team Green rig just for some Flux now. Maybe we do a tutorial. Maybe it's already been done, but you know what? I haven't done it, so I'm going to do it anyway. It seems like, why not? Seems like fun, doesn't it? Anyway, guys, smash that like if you want to see how to quadruple, not double, not triple, quadruple your mining profits. We'll see. All right, so guys, that is our lineup for GPU mining profits. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Do we need to change this segment just a little bit? Is it a little bit too over the top? I can never tell. Let me know in the comment section. Yvonne is letting us know that, yes, Ravencoin Lite is a fork of Ravencoin. And Marco is asking, what do you think about Ravencoin price after the new ETH EIP? Some Goblin Loser says, not financial advice, LOL. I mean, it's not financial advice. Definitely not. So moving on, let's take a look at the price to mine one full Bitcoin. Here's the thing also, guys, when it comes to like specifically mining and the prices that are locked in today, this stuff is ephemeral, right? It's here today, gone tomorrow. We don't always know. So there could be some kind of a massive correction in one side of the market or another. I won't like name a project, but this stuff, it's all interconnected. It is sort of like one network, many chains, so to speak. Like Solana, the negative news on Solana, it wasn't without repercussions elsewhere, right? The Bitcoin price went up. The Ethereum price went up. So sometimes it's not always the relationship that we think. So, take it with a grain of salt. And John Germain, it says, NVIDIA is Team Green, AMD is Team Red, Intel is Team Blue. Yeah, it's about right. Except that Xilinx is also Team Red, which makes it confusing in the FPGA space because Intel is Team Blue. Whatever. Nobody wants to be Team Purple because, if it's purple, by the third act, somebody has to die. I guess that's the saying in Hollywood screenwriting circles. All right, guys, our price floor for mining profit, or our break-even price, is 15.7 cents. We're finally kind of back in the right direction, but still going to take us about, we're going to acquire our Bitcoin at $43,000 when we have 14 cent per kilowatt hour power. Getting it to 8 cent per kilowatt hour power kind of makes more sense. We're just under $25,000 on the Antminer S9. Sorry, I've been drinking too much water. Got to cut back. Got to drink lemonade instead. Ooh, nice. Nicola says, yo, Seth and chat, great catching you live. Hey, appreciate that. Obrigado. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oof. And it looks like my dashboard is telling me that it's throwing me a little sign that I have to sign back in. So sorry for the interruption there, guys. Going to briefly sign back in and regain access to my streaming dashboard. But in the meantime, guys, 8 cent per kilowatt hour power is going to get you one full Bitcoin for about $25,000. Let's move on to the MicroBT WhatsMiner M20S, a really great model. Really good bang for the buck. At 8 cent per kilowatt hour power, we're looking at $14.1 thousand per Bitcoin. This makes more sense. It's a lot more sense to me. And the break-even price for electricity is closer to 28 cents. So even on really terrible power, like 14 cent per kilowatt hour power, you're still mining one full Bitcoin for about $25,000. What's not to like about that? I don't know. You tell me if you really actually know. Shh. If you say anything after that, like what's not to like? Less expensive Bitcoin? I mean, not to say don't speak, because you'd be crazy if you don't like cheaper Bitcoin, right? Of course, right. So jumping out of the way here, guys, miningpoolstats.stream. We've got really still kind of elevated participation on the Ethereum network, elevated participation on the Bitcoin network, though maybe not quite as much as the last time we tuned in. Looks like that is growing, though. Looks like the entire net hash for Ravencoin may be growing as well, but yeah, I think as far as overall, Nicholas is saying, I want to mine MYBZ already. Well, here's kind of the difficulty with that. If we want it to be forked into the snapshot of the PLS chain when it launches, then it needs to be an ERC20 right now. And I guess the contract fee isn't overly prohibitive. We could do it. Or we could try to launch it on Polygon right now, make that possible, and then bridge the smart contract onto Ethereum before the PLS snapshot happens, or wait till the PLS snapshot happens, have it on Polygon, and then just reissue the smart contract and do an airdrop to holders that already have it on Polygon. Tomato, tomato. Lots of ways we can do this. Convicted marketer. Yeah, brings up the name of a project, which is so tempting. I just want to sing. I think I have found my weakness. But GPU mining portfolio, we're going to start there. And let's go ahead and take a look for Raven Light. Well, it's not listed on CoinGecko yet, so I apologize for that, Yvonne. I wish I could add it here so we could take a closer look at it, but Ravencoin is there. Ravencoin Classic, Raven Dark, Raven X, Raven Protocol, which uses the same artwork as the Pigeon Coin. Strange. Pigeon Coin is still there too, which is funny. Well, it uses the old artwork for Pigeon Coin. Funny. Anyway, like funny, haha. 24-hour change, we're up 2.43%, but total P&L since we started this portfolio, we are down, or up, not down. We're up by almost 12% in total since that began. Looks pretty good. Zotrak, look, Zotrak, prayer will not save you right now, but yes, there are a lot of Raven coins. But top of the list, guys, for profit in this portfolio is Flux. If you put in $1,000 on May 26th, like we did with every other single coin here in this paper tracker, the one that has performed best is Flux. You would have currently $29,000. That's not financial advice. Those are just facts. We put a snapshot of these coins in based on the price on the 26th of this year at 5:30 p.m. It was very, very specific. You guys have seen me do this live on a number of occasions. May 26th, 5:30 p.m. for, Denver time. And then we put in the exact amount for that price, and we put in exactly $1,000, and I'm meticulous about it. So it's $1,000 even. It's not $9.99 plus 50 cents or whatever. And it's not over $1,000. We put in exactly the same amount. They're all on equal footing. So we're just watching what the market has done, what the market has said. And clearly the market has said that Flux is winning in this category for GPU mineable coins. And Painkiller is saying close to peak BTC price. Yeah, right? Yeah, it looks really good. Ergo is in second place at 1,800. Ravencoin third place. Ethereum in fourth. Not doing bad, but only barely outperforming what we initially put into the portfolio. Ren BTC and the Wrapped Bitcoin representations are not doing great, but also over break even. And the dividing lines at Rio currency. So yeah, Rio or Rio currency is over 1,200. And then that's where the profit stops. Everything below that line is in the red. Polygon is the cream of the crap, so to speak, right? It is below the break-even line, but it's not doing too bad, actually. Right? It's floating really, really high. Floating really, really high in that little below the profit line pool. Zero is just behind it, Beam behind that, Ethereum Classic, and our biggest loser way down here is Mimblewimble Coin at 58% down. Swap is second to last. Haven is back over the $6 mark. I'm not sure if it's still undervalued, and I said that last time, and I just want to be very, very cautious about how I talk about Haven. They've announced Haven 2.0, so there's a bit of a roadmap on how to fix that, how to figure that out. Bit of a roadmap for their part on how they intend to fix it, which is basically to reissue the coin on Haven 2.0. So there may be an airdrop for holders right now. I'm not super clear on how that's going to look for Haven, but I do know that they've announced Haven 2.0, and that might increase the price. But I'm not sure, and I'm not necessarily convinced that this is the wrong price for it right now. It might be right-sized at the moment. Maybe. It could have been overinflated before because of some of the assets launching on it, and they might need to show stability for a while before it rebuilds that price. That said, if you've been looking for a time to get in, maybe it's not a bad entry point for you. Maybe it's okay. But you do your own research, dig deeper. I'm not going to go any deeper than that because I don't know any more about it, but I've been very interested in seeing how it performs. That's our GPU mining portfolio, guys. Let's look at our hard drive mineable coins. 24-hour change, we're up a little over 1%, but total P&L is still down by 2.5%. We've got a few winners here, guys. Filecoin, Storage, and MaidSafe Coin are all above the break-even line. Everything else is below. Chia is now down by 73%, so $213. It's been struggling to recover since its most recent correction. Oh well, bummer. But as we said before, VC investment, a lot of VC money in that project. Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt them as the SEC decides how they feel about it. Because, I mean, gosh, depends on what they ate for breakfast and, what day of the week it is and whether or not, whatever, Mercury's in retrograde. Somebody call Marin Altman, right? Like the horoscope witch lady on crypto Twitter. She probably has a better idea what's going to happen with Chia than I do. So anyway, since we added Epic Cash to the CPU mining portfolio, we see that it's performed the best out of everything there. It's currently on an uptrend, and it looks like maybe that's organic trading there. That pattern doesn't look too manipulated, just from a bird's eye view. Looks like it might not be manipulated, but Epic Cash is currently at over $2,000. So shout out to Max Freeman and the Epic Cash crew. As far as this being a CPU mineable coin, it's actually a triple mineable coin. It can be mined by CPUs, it can be mined by GPUs, and it can be mined by ASICs. They did that intentionally to diversify the proof of work so that no one hardware profile could even possibly commit a 51% attack. It's pretty cool, actually. That blended proof of work model, I don't think it's foolproof. I don't think it's necessarily like completely attack resistant or completely attack proof, but it's pretty cool. It's working out pretty well for them. So we could compare this to other coins as well, but it's going to stay on CPU mineable for right now. Darius Coin is our biggest loser at 29% down. 24-hour change is almost 6% up. Total P&L, we're almost 70% up, so it's looking pretty good. ASIC mineable coins. Go Mining Token still taking the top of the leaderboard there. 24-hour change is up 4.5%. Total P&L is down by 9.3%. So or up by 9.3. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit loopy, right? Like I said before, I've developed crypto vision, right? Which is to say, like when the candles are red, I see green, and when the candles are green, I see red. But sometimes at the end of the day, if it's been a long day, it makes me a little loopy. So now we're up 9.3% in this portfolio since we started it. Top of the list is Go Mining Token. It's outperforming Bitcoin way more than 2 to 1, or significantly more than 2 to 1. It's at about $3,100 there. Bitcoin is in second place, and bottom of the list, biggest loser is now Bytecoin. I was going to give out an audible yes, but you know what? That would be rude. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be like that. I'm not that kind of person. All right, so Pirate Chain is now in second to last place. It is not in last place. I don't think it deserved to be in last place. Clearly a bit of an issue there. Dogecoin is at 24 cents, which matters to some people. Devault is ahead of Dogecoin, which I think also is a bit of a sign of cosmic justice, right? So that's probably a good thing, a good position for it. Hopefully it can get past that break-even point as well. The break-even line starts with Dash. Litecoin is down bad since the fake Walmart announcement. It hasn't fully recovered there just yet, or I guess it has. It was brought itself back up to about a price of $180, but it was above this line during that announcement, and it just cannot fight its way back up. And you see the spike right there. Boom! Shot straight up to like $214 or more. It just went parabolic. It was crazy. Pretty much, yeah, totally crazy time with Litecoin, but no recovery in sight that I can see. FPGA mineable coins. If you're not familiar with this, we do occasionally get the question. FPGAs are field programmable gate arrays. It's a unique type of hardware that's somewhere, gosh, how to think about it. It's more high performance than a GPU, but it's harder to work with. It's not as easy to just plug and play as an ASIC, but it's not quite as high performance as an ASIC. It's somewhere in between. It's programmable, it's high performance, but it's really finicky and really hard to work with. So not everybody uses them. But those who do can sometimes get pretty killer profits. So here goes. The list includes Cadena, which is at the top right now. 24-hour change is negative 1.72%, but our total P&L is up almost 4% since we started this portfolio. 0x Bitcoin is still our biggest loser, but apparently those swings that we see normally in its regular hourly trading pattern have become much more pronounced. So we're back. We're out of that really small amplitude, high frequency swings, and we're back into the same frequency but higher amplitude swings. So if you're interested in doing swing trading on something like this, you're in a better position to do so, right? There should be higher profits. So whoever's been doing that, you're back in the money. And that's the case for 0x Bitcoin. So even though the price is low, the opportunity is back up, right? It's high again. Nimic, Digibyte, Teller, Handshake, they're all below the break-even mark. So it's literally only Cadena that's rewarding you for holding right now. Everything else is pretty much only rewarding you for either trading or biding your time until you get your money back if you paid for them. Again, the beauty of all of these portfolios, the proof of work mining portfolios, is that you may not have paid your own money to get these coins. So some of these drawdowns of 20, 30% or more, they might not affect you because if you mined them, you may have far more than that amount in your profit margin. So you're probably okay. So that's the nice thing about mining right now and looking at these portfolios. Just keep that in mind. If you're watching and you're not really a crypto miner, what we're looking at here for crypto miners, we don't get nearly as emotional about it because it's not like, oh my gosh, I wasted a lot of money and I had to defer this bill over here or whatever, like my electricity bill and the utility is going to kill me, like they're going to raise my rate. We're not worried about that. We're really not too worried about that. All right, so FPGA mining portfolio is handled. Proof of stake smart contracts. This is where it gets fun and interesting and very, very profitable as of this bull run. 24-hour change, we're up 4.26%, and total P&L, we're up 81%. No other side of our portfolio looks like this, guys. It's pretty much crazy. And please, as a reminder, as a request, if you can think of a proof of stake smart contract platform that has a token that we have not included in this portfolio, please let me know, and I'd like to add that. Now that I'm thinking through the other side of the portfolio, the automated liquidity coins, I was not able to carve out time to get those added. So maybe I will do that live while we chat about some other projects as well, finishing up tonight's live stream. But top of the list is Terra, ticker symbol Luna, and it's doing pretty great. It's kind of leveled off right now. It's found some support and is crabbing sideways as of the last few days. But 7 days ago, it popped right up and did a little double top right there on its way down. So kind of a bounce, right? So descending and then dropped down, but found support and is holding pretty nicely at close to $35 per coin. That's exciting. Solana, we talked about that earlier on in this program, and let's just jump back really fast to see if we've got Terra listed here. Looks like thought we did. What? Strange. Yeah, we don't have all of the initial token allocation available for Terra just yet. That would be nice to see. But we do have it for Avalanche and for Solana and Internet Computer and Flow, which we have not added. I don't know if we've added Flow or IOTA to this list here. Cryptid Youth is heading out. Thanks for being with us, buddy. But Solana, we talked about that before, maybe a little too centralized for some people's taste, maybe a little bit too heavily invested in by VCs for some people's taste, but still performing fairly admirably, all things considered. The fact that their blockchain was literally shut down for more than half a full day, a work day, middle of the week, totally shut down. And it does this. It bounces off that bottom resistance of, gosh, whatever, 120 bucks ish, and is currently at 155. That's amazing to see it kind of fall down and kind of skid sideways. Like, no, it's okay. I'm going to be all right. I'm okay. I'm all right. I guess so. It's okay. It's weathering that downturn pretty well. Phantom is in third place. It has just picked up from some negative price action this week as well, very closely mirroring the Solana chart. And I'm wondering why that is. I mean, they're very closely correlated. Maybe we should jump back over to our Bitcoin overview there and just kind of take a look at the price action of Bitcoin, because sometimes that gives us some insight. Nope. No. Maybe it's not going to give us any insight. There's a lot of decorrelation with a lot of these coins, it seems. But the old guard, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Bitcoin and Dash both had a sympathetic spike with Litecoin. Look at that. See that correlated sympathetic spike? Like, Litecoin went crazy. But Dash and Bitcoin, right? Dash especially, and then Bitcoin to a lesser extent, both said like, oh my gosh, Litecoin's pumping. I got to pump too. I don't know how I didn't get that before. Yeah, Gallo, let me get this straight. Is this financial advice? No, this is a crazy man, crazy person talking about lines on a screen. I mean, it's all in framing, but it's sobering when you just say it plainly for what it is. This is just some crazy dude live streaming, talking about squiggly lines. Give me some crayons, folks. I could probably draw better lines myself, but we're just gonna have to settle for these lines that were drawn by the market, I guess. So it's just funny to see that correlation, guys, between Litecoin, Dash, and then Bitcoin. How Litecoin, it was fake news too, right? That Walmart was going to accept them as payment, but everything else that was kind of related to it, from the old guard, old UTXO style, like payment-oriented coins that back in the day were supposed to replace the dollar at some point, they all kind of pumped. And Litecoin corrected. Dash, however, said, yeah, no, I'm out of here. Boom, took off. Same with Bitcoin. Likely more correlated to Bitcoin, and maybe that's the reason why for Dash. But they both kind of rose after it was confirmed that Litecoin's news was fake news and Solana's news was not fake news. Right? Kind of shredded to pieces the Solana narrative when it got shut down. Bitcoin Cash also kind of following that little spike, also climbing back up, highly correlated. So it looks like those are kind of the older coins are correlated. But jumping back into the main point here with the smart contracts and seeing the charts over here, I don't think I'm seeing strong correlation to Bitcoin at all. It looks completely decorrelated. And I don't think I'm seeing strong correlation to Ethereum either, right? Ethereum looks very correlated to Bitcoin, if anything. Then I guess Binance Coin as well. There might be some others where we do see stronger correlation, like, yeah, the older coins like Neo and others, EOS as well. Polygon too. That's funny. Actually, some of these are following the price action of Bitcoin quite closely. But I think the top performing coins here, they're largely not, right? So these top 5 from Cosmos up, they don't seem to be following what Bitcoin is doing at all. They don't seem to care one bit that Bitcoin has gone up or that Litecoin spiked or that there was fake news about Walmart accepting payments and whatever else. Like, they just do their own thing. They're just killing it. So yeah, Zotrak is phrasing it very, very well. Says the charts show that the Litecoin non-news or the fake news caused arbitrage on the other major coins. Yeah, so spikes at the same time on BTC, ETH, to a lesser extent ETH, but yeah, Dash, BCH, etc. Yeah, totally. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see that. Top performers are obviously, Terra, Solana, Phantom, Avalanche, Cosmos. Wax is still doing okay, but it's not quite over its 2x or not quite over its 200% gain line the way that Cosmos is. These top 5 they're top for a reason. They're just killing it. And Terra in particular is almost 500, what is it? Why can't I think? It's almost 400% up, and so you've almost 5x'd your money. It's pretty amazing. We put $1,000 in. If you put $1,000 in, this is what your portfolio would look like. Right? Polkadot not doing bad either. Looks like the break-even line is at Binance Coin. Chainlink is the first loser in this race. Neo is the second. Internet Computer is, of course, the biggest loser on this side of the portfolio, and it's struggling to cover at all. Polygon or Matic still in the number 2 spot. I'm confused by that. I'm genuinely confused. Let's do a deeper dive another time. Taking a look at our automated liquidity coins. We've pretty much only got entries for Hex and Ampleforth. We do not have entries for any of the other coins. They're both doing well. Looks like right now, oh my gosh, Hex is at 38 cents. None of this makes any earthly sense to me anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't understand why this is the case anymore. Just don't totally get it. Let's go ahead and add some entries for some of these others, Uniswap and others. I think it'd be really great to see how they've performed since May 26th, and it'll help round out this side of the portfolio so that we're not just staring at like Hex and Ampleforth. I was accused the very first time that I even put Hex into this portfolio of like doing something immoral. Bro, their numbers on a screen, their lines on a screen. I don't view it as immoral. If you do, hit the thumbs down, right? Like whatever. Let me know your displeasure. Write a mean comment to your senator. Write a stern letter to your senator. Write a mean comment to my mom over on OpenSea. She deserves it because she brought me into this world. It's really her fault when you think about it. Anyway, by that logic, let's go back to these squiggles on the screen. But Uniswap is going to be our very first entry. Hit the plus button there. Go over to Uniswap right here on this next tab, and then dial in the dates that we want to use. It'll be 5/26. Jump back over. Bloodsport says, imagine not knowing Link is a top 3 crypto. Oh, buddy. I've got to talk to that directly. I do. So imagine not knowing that this is a portfolio where every single entry was made on the exact same day. All of these entries were made on May 26th. So you figure it out, man. You run the numbers, or you cherry pick an acquisition date that makes sense to you. We didn't cherry pick a date. We just went with May 26th because we were live streaming at that time. And so this is objective data based on what the market did, not what I'm saying. So sorry, man. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah. Uniswap on that date. Let's see. Go to the 27th here. And I mean, I'm not arguing with you, man. I'm not. Chainlink is a phenomenal project. I am not speaking to the merit of Chainlink as a project at all. All that portfolio trackers can do when you create paper trades like this is track the number from when you made the paper trade. So we're limited in how we can evaluate these projects here. These are just prices. And as we all know, Cryptocurrencies are far more than their price. They're far more than their market cap. They're far more than all the other stuff. So just to be very clear, I want to be as fair-minded as possible here. You make a very good point. Chainlink it has a lot of merit, but these are what the markets are deciding, not me. So, taking a look back at May 26th, back at I can't quite get it. Need to split the difference there. It looks like it would actually be, that's crazy. It would be about $28.25. Because it was moving up. It was in a parabolic move right at 5:30. So I'm going to call it $28.25. Uh-oh. Spoiler alert. This is not going to end well. Not for Uniswap. It's like Uniswap is in the hole. And we've got just a little over 35 of these coins to get our tidy $1,000 acquisition. Put this at 5:30. 5:30. And jump back to May 26th. Zotrack says, it's really hard to keep your neutrality in this space. That's why you have all my respect, and I enjoy the show. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And, dude, you're right. Especially with stuff that is, like, it's always mooning. And guys, on this channel, like, I admit it, I do take paid sponsors reviews and stuff, too, because it helps me to carve out, to justify the time that I spend on YouTube to my wife and my family. So, yeah, it's hard. It's a really tough thing. But yeah, hard to do without shilling. And then you got great projects that probably merit a lot more attention, and they don't always get the attention they deserve, right? And then there's always somebody that comes in the comments section too that's like, oh my gosh, I've been holding on to this bag for 5 years, and it should be valued as more, and please pump my bags. What do you say to them? So Pancake Swap is going to be our next addition. Plus icon here. Guys, I do like putting these in. I really do. I like putting these in live. It's fun because you get to see the process. You get to see when we're adding stuff and get to give a lot of input. And then we get to take a look at our new coins together next time we stream. Pretty cool, right? All right. 6th, 7th. Yeah, Nicholas, man, that reminder. I've got to got to create some kind of a reminder. You guys want to see something absolutely insane? Let's see if I got it open. Maybe I can open this up. I'm going to go to my cloud dashboard over here. And I've got to be really cautious about what I show here. Before I move this over. I'm just going to go over to my notes. I've got my own encrypted cloud. I use Nextcloud, but I've got it branded for myself. It's kind of fun. But I've got my own little encrypted cloud, and it's where you do my task management, or do my project management, and my keep all my tasks and stuff. Because I don't like it's like using Trello, but it encrypted and self-hosted. So I view that as really fun. So let's see. It's a little bit slow because I am running it on my own VPS, right? Instead of it being like an AWS service that bajillion people are using, and it's using a Kubernetes cluster or something. It's just one VPS that I'm running, so it's a little bit slower. But I will show you that, in a minute. Right now, jumping back to the 26th of about 5:30. That's about right there. 1878. Cool. Okay. Actually, I've got this thing totally back there. Okay, so you guys, you need to see this. See this. So yeah, here we are. Bro, I've got content and content and content and content. These all have notes in them, by the way. And content ideas and more there and there and there and there and there. It's dozens. Because it's dozens of video like tasks that I have. Some of those are actually for sponsored clients who are like, hey, you got to get this done fast. Like, my gosh, I really want to. So I'm sorry when I forget about stuff like that. But Nicholas, like the idea of having that a new coin, it actually is really cool. So I'm going to add that. You guys can see it live. I'm going to add that. Go ahead and just add that to my list of to-dos. That's, oh my gosh. So it's there in the list of to-dos. We'll get around to it. But Skill Checkmate says, you run a tight ship on this stream. Always enjoy tuning in. Your passion is contagious. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you a lot. Try to put, well, I mean, in my opinion, it's not hard to be passionate about cryptocurrency in general because of what we're building and because of what it could mean. Right? Like, I've lost sleep over this before. I think that's part of like the allure of cryptocurrency. I don't lose sleep every night, but I can look back on times where it's like I've legitimately stayed up because I could not sleep because I was thinking of the possibilities of what blockchain will mean for the world and what cryptocurrencies will mean for the world and what I'm doing to be involved. And yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, I'm just here on YouTube, but like other stuff that people are building and that we could be a part of and launch. It's really exciting. Yeah. So thank you. I'm glad you noticed. I'm glad that it's coming across. So let's get our pancake holdings put in place here. Looks like it's going to take over 53 of those coins to get us up to speed. Get us up to that $1,000 acquisition. Jump back to May. It's gotta be May. All right. Like Nicholas says, we're still so early. Ashanti as well. She says, same. I agree. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Ashanti's going to tattle on us. We're going to make our token on PLS, our mining token on PLS. Don't tell us. Don't tell them. Shh. Don't tell the Hexicans. Don't tell RH. Yeah. Especially don't tell RG3. He'll get all upset. He'll be like, gosh darn it. That's not cool. I like RG3. He's cool. But don't tell him. Okay, so Pancake Swap, it looks like, is in the money. That's exciting. Shiba Inu might be as well, but let's go ahead and add a transaction for Shiba Inu. Look at that. It's still, good grief. Fractions of a penny. And yet it still has a $3 billion market cap. Could you imagine if it even got close to going higher? Stuff is just obscene. How profitable it becomes when it finally like sort of matures into its own. Seriously, these cryptocurrency projects, the ones that do really well, it's unbelievable, the gains. All right, so May 26th. That's about our acquisition point. Dang, we're measuring this in Satoshis. Not even, oh gosh, I can't. Struggling to see that. That's 5 zeros. 5 zeros, right? Not 6, 5 0. And I'm struggling. This has got me messed up. It's really, hold on. Here we go. 5 zeros, 9 4. Good grief. Take these off. I look like an old man. Uh-oh. And 4 4. There we go. Okay. Let's see. And get back into our calculator. Oh my gosh. So you'd have to buy over 105 million Shiba to get $1,000 back at our acquisition date and time. And some people did, for sure. Okay, submit that. It's not in the money either. Looks like you lost. Womp womp. Yep, you lost if you went with Shiba Inu, unless you bought it, prior to its run up. Sushi has done very well also, depending on when you acquired it, but I think for the date range. So to whoever the commenter was who brought up Chainlink, and that in their estimation, they thought it was a top 3 project. I don't know if I agree with Chainlink being a top 3 project as it is right now. It's a great project. It offers tremendous value. But I suspect that there will be a lot of alternatives for Oracle systems in the future. 1306. All right, it looks like we are likely to be in the money on this one. We will be, but add that. So yeah, I disagree that Chainlink is of a necessity going to be a top 3 project, and but it is a good project for sure. It's a very good project. It offers a very good value. It does something that's very much needed. Nobody can argue that it's not useful, generally. But I don't know that it's a top 3 project, because I think that it's hard to argue that, like what is greater, the master gardener or the shovel that he uses? Because Chainlink is a shovel, and Ethereum is the gardener that's wielding it right now. All right, 1283. Oops. And well, yeah, we got a few of these guys that have just that haven't been able to come back into profit. It looks like for this is going to be kind of a sad list for a lot of these. Just a reminder, rather, that the market has not helped restore many of these projects to profit, while Bitcoin returned to profitability on our list. Of course, the Thorchain hack also was a pretty big deal, a bit like the Haven hack, only it doesn't seem to have affected it nearly as negatively as the Haven hack. XSushi, this ought to be a little bit higher. Brad Hardman is asking, best RAM and CPU combo for mining, please. That's a great question, Brad. So I'm going to ask you to clarify a little bit. Do you mean just for CPU mining, or do you mean for GPU mining to keep your system profile kind of like high efficiency? Hey, live chat, do Brad a solid, and as he gives us some clarification, let him know what you think. And I'll kind of give you my thoughts as we work on this portfolio. But it's a great question. Yeah, but it's important to know what your specific use case is. If we don't have clarity as to what you intend to use that CPU and RAM combo for, if it's for CPU mining or if it's for GPU mining, then we won't be able to answer your question very well. So we do need a little bit of clarification from you, man. $18.03. Okay, so it's like XSushi has done just fine, or it's grown, it's decoupled from its sushi value. I think the charts they've traded differently. Either that, or I think that XSushi was released between then and now. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, see that XSushi is right there between PancakeSwap and Ampleforth, a little bit higher above the break-even point. Hey bud, what's this? I'm live stream. Is that for me? Thank you. Hey, guys, dinner is served, or at least a little snack. That looks tasty. Ooh, I think that's some peach salsa. Yum. Looks tasty, but thanks. Set that aside. So, guys, we're almost there. Okay, so Serum is going to be our next addition to to the portfolio. At 1034 right now. Ooh, 1039. It's a maybe. It does go better. All right, so hey, Brad Hardman, I'm still waiting for you to give us some clarification on what you need this, the CPU and the RAM to do. Mark Allen is jumping in with some wisdom here. He says, if you're just doing GPU mining, the RAM and the CPU are negligible, in my opinion. And I agree with Mark wholeheartedly. In fact, I'll go one further. And I'll say that if you are GPU mining, 535, this is going to look great. If you're GPU mining, in fact, you want the RAM and the CPU to be as high efficiency and as low power, right? As efficient as possible and as low power as possible. You want it to consume as little power as you can possibly get away with. So that's why Celeron processors have been so popular in mining, and why other like high efficiency power, like a high efficiency GPU or CPUs have been so popular in mining. Skill Check Mace is asking, you still drinking eggs? Yeah, man, when I can. Whey protein too, but yeah, it's good stuff, man. Protein is good. And really, like, here's the thing, man. If you have to stop to eat a steak every time you want protein, you're doing it wrong. You need to feed your body at regular intervals. I will toe that line. Some people are like, just about intermittent fasting, or saying you gotta, have one really big, awesome meal. Nah, man, you gotta feed yourself consistently with enough protein throughout the day. Otherwise, you mess up your blood levels of all kind of stuff, including especially important stuff like insulin. You got to keep your blood sugar levels consistent and eat good food. So here we go, quick swap. This really shouldn't take so much effort for me, but sometimes I get like really highly focused on this. We go 985.48. Deal. Ooh, that's intense. This will be a first, I think. Looks like, yeah, this one might be down bad, unfortunately, based on that snapshot. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's not accurate. Gosh darn it. Need to edit that transaction now, I think. Guess I'm jumping in there. 6th. There we go. Fixed it. Yeah, it's down pretty bad, though. Yeah, so far it's the biggest loser. So, bummer. Dragons, quick. And D6. And John Ross brings up really great feedback on the CPU and RAM combo. He says, Brad, the best CPU and RAM are the ones you already own. Golden Wolf says, what the flux? Is this live? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hopefully me repeating your comment is proof. Speaking of what the flux, try searching for that term or mineyour.biz, or that term and mineyour.biz on Amazon. Tell me what you find. All right, 11:45:72. Ooh. And It's good. And then Hyperburn. Yeah, Dragon's Quick and QuickSwap are at the bottom of this list for right now. Still strong projects. Yeah, they took a hit. Same with Sushi though, for that matter. It was X Sushi that did better. Some of these AMM platforms are not having their best moment in terms of price action, unfortunately. So anybody just tuning in, yeah, this is kind of the boring part where we add some new coins into the portfolio so we can compare them and to give them a proper apples to apples comparison. Wow, it looks like we can only go weird. Huh. Okay. This thing is going on with Hyperburn here. Anyway, gosh darn it. To show us a little bit more data, putting in different dates here, and it's just not expanding our view. We're gonna have to manually edge this over. That's weird. It's really weird. Will it let us see that day? Why the heck not? Okay, well, rather than try to fight this, like, whatever this representation are, I'm just going to say it was $1.05, because that appears to be what it was trending at. So it looks like Hyper might actually do quite well. I know, kind of lazy. I don't think I can apologize for that, because we need to get this segment done. And 26th, and submit. And Hyperburn immediately leapfrogs everything else and is in second place behind Hex. But it is a huge delta there between Hex and the next nearest coin right now in the automated liquidity category. Guys, this is pretty much gonna, like, this side of the portfolio looks like it's gonna become the Hex show, basically. So if you're okay with that, cool. If you're not, sorry. That's how it's going to be. Unless we have something else to put into this category that can compete based on its price from May 26th until today. Let's move along from there and take a quick look at this chart. Speaking of stuff that doesn't quite go the way you expect, I mentioned it before. I draw charts on lines and then the market decides that it wants to do something totally different. Do not submit like your orders. Don't put in your limit orders based on something that you saw on this show here, thinking like, oh my gosh, that chart was so amazing. You're totally gonna like revolutionize everything with these chopsticks on this chart, Seth. No, that's not what we're here to do. We are here to get a general idea of certain trends. That's it. That downward channel that looked like a descending triangle completely reversed. Like almost the moment we started talking about it, it completely reversed, right? We were drawing it off the bottom of that candlestick right there, not even the wick down below, but it completely reversed right off of that candle that we drew the candlestick, that we drew the lines across, right? The descending triangle across, and then it started to pop right back up. Why is it doing that, man? I don't know, but clearly we went through a death cross right here, and we may be working our way back towards a golden cross. Who knows if we get to see $50,000 Bitcoin again anytime soon? Not sure. But right now, like, it just did not do anything that we expected based on the last time we looked at this chart together. Skill Checkmates says, any opinion of DYDX or similar protocols? I think decentralized perpetuals have a bright future given centralized exchange reliability. Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion about that. I apologize. I wish I were a little more educated on it. Sorry. Yeah. Don't have much to say about that, but let's take our chopsticks and let's just note the general direction being so incredibly different now. And yeah, we may be able to back towards there. Okay, Brad, he may have a delay because he might be watching video from earlier on and maybe not watching it real time, so maybe not seeing some of the comments, but says mining Monero. Yeah, for CPU, that's where CPU performance does matter quite a bit. If you're mining Monero, like we're already reversing here, guys, by the way, sorry, on the chart. We're reversing right here. Yes, we were in an upward channel, but we're already kind of reversing trend right here, so not really sure just yet. So it looks like Brad is going to be mining Monero or using the RandomX algorithm on that CPU mining rig to use NiceHash. You will need a higher performance CPU, and a really good resource for that is monerobenchmarks.info. Let's pull that up live. So monerobenchmarks.info is a really great way to get at least Monero benchmarks for this. Nicholas Burba is asking, have you seen Raptorium? And he's not wrong. It's a great thing to check. But this website will at least show you popular CPUs in a very similar way to what to mine does, right? So you can kind of check to see which CPUs have higher performance versus others, and then you can do a little bit of shopping and comparison there and figure out whether or not you're picking up something new or you're just taking inventory of what you already have and deciding whether or not you want to mine on it. But this is a great starting point right here. So let's say, for example, I'm interested in only Threadrippers. I can start to search for thread. Write it all the way up, be explicit, and it'll just boil this down to Threadripper along the side. Now there are no more Xeons that show up in the search results. There we go. See 1 to 10 entries of 53. So it shows you what's doing best. I can sort these according to the hash rate. I can sort them according to the date that it was submitted, and I can of course sort it according to the TDP. So figure out like, okay, what's really low power consumption and really low heat. Apparently the Ryzen Threadripper 2920X is really low heat, but unfortunately it's also relatively low performance. But compared to the 1920X, as measured here, this might not be true. It looks like it's also almost 30% higher performance. So that's something to consider. You're going to have to go through some of this stuff on your own, I think. Painkiller is mentioning that the 3900X is going for about 35 or 350 on eBay used and is doing well on XMR. It's great feedback. Yeah, it's really great feedback. Alrighty, guys. I think that's going to be our show. Taking a look here at this current price for Bitcoin. You guys tell me, what do you think? Are we going to go back into a golden cross here? Is this going to happen? Are we going to see this 50-day punch back up through the 200-day? Tell me your prediction in the live chat. If you think that Bitcoin's coming back big and you think it's going to pull the rest of the market cap up with it, the stuff that's correlated anyway, back up with it, tell me. Yeah, say yes, we're heading towards a golden cross. It's going to happen. Or tell me no. Tell me what you think down in the comment section, guys, or in the live chat right now, guys. Much appreciate those great live comments, great questions. Thank you again for the super chat. That was so cool to get a super chat from John earlier on. Really, really appreciate that. Thanks for being subscribed. Thanks for sharing these videos. It really means a lot, and it lets other people know that this is useful content. Guys, you're the reason I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.